This demo is part 2 of continuous security testing. Part 1 included APT scans within the attack surface management feature. Part 2 includes scan status and how to schedule a scan. Again, by clicking on the ASM feature in the drop-down menu, scan status will appear under APT scans. Simply click on this feature and a view of all scans within the defined scope and asset discovery will be visible. This includes the scan name, the type of scan, the asset for which the scan was run on, the scan progress, whether it's scheduled, finished, failed, or there was an error. Let's go through all of these features. At the top of the dashboard, users can search for a scan by name or filter by status or by scan type. To filter by status, just click on the drop-down menu where a list of status types will appear. Finished means those scans that are complete. In progress are those scans that are in progress or are still running, whereby the user can view the scanning process in real time. The percentage of scan completion will show in the dial. Scheduled are those scans that have been previously scheduled. Error means if the scan encountered some type of error. Pending or on hold are those scans that are pending and perhaps need further attention. Failed means the scan did not finish successfully and will either need to be terminated or rescanned. And terminated, these scheduled scans were terminated and will never get picked up during the upcoming frequency. Adjacent to this is the filter by scan type. This is very useful to the user if they want to filter by certain types of scans only, such as network scan, web scans, authenticated web scans, and more, including all rescans. So let's filter by finish scan, and we'll select network scan. Users can click on any scan, and the scan details will appear. The user sees the complete digital footprint, workflow, and activity details of the scan, including any messages sent or pending, when the scan was queued, when it ran, and when it was completed. To see further details about the scan, users can click on the actual asset associated with the scan or rescan. Asset details will appear, including the associated subdomains, vulnerabilities, and activities. Let's go back to vulnerability. Again, we have seen this in scan status and asset discovery. Vulnerabilities give a cumulative view of all the vulnerabilities related to the asset. Each vulnerability is itemized by name, risk severity, from low, medium, high to critical, including informational, the CVSS score, for which BreachLock supports CVSS 3 and 4, and whether it was newly discovered or a rediscovered vulnerability related to that asset. Also, by clicking on the far right drop-down menu, for any vulnerability, users can view more contextual information, such as the date of the finding, a more detailed description of the vulnerability, and an automatic screenshot of the proof of concept, or POC, indicating evidence that the vulnerability is a true positive. A newly discovered vulnerability can be discovered multiple times, but every time it is on another asset. So multiple assets can be impacted by the same vulnerability, but are different assets. Basically, a new vulnerability seen for the first time. Identical to APT scans, the last tab under Asset Details is Activities. The rolled-up view represents the scan name, type of scan, progress or status, in this case finished, and the last update. The rolled-up view under Action represents those scans that have not finished, whereby pause scans can be reinitiated, for example. But in this case, we only have one scan that has been finished. Now let's go to a failed scan. We'll click here. We'll go to failed. For failed scans, the user has the capability to reinitiate the scan on the asset. Go to the far right and click on the ellipses under Action and click Retry. A green box will appear indicating that the scan has been requested. If we were to select In Progress, for example, you would also be able to pause, terminate, or restart a scan. The same for error scans. Again, those scans showing an error status can also be rescanned by clicking on the action under the ellipses and selecting Retry. Scans under a terminate status cannot be reinitiated and have been previously terminated from the scanning process. Scheduled scans remain in the scheduled status. Next, we will demonstrate how users can make any changes to scheduled scans. This concludes the scan status feature on the BreachLock integrated platform, and we will now move on to the last feature in this demo, Scan Schedule. And here we will learn how to schedule a scan. All scheduled scans on domains, subdomains, IP addresses, URLs or endpoints, IP blocks, and asset groups can be viewed within this feature. Scan Schedule will provide the scan ID, the name given to the scan, its status, of course, scheduled, last scan date, and action. Under the action column, users can click on the ellipses to conduct the following on any scheduled scan. To pause a scan that has been scheduled, simply click on Pause, and the status schedule will change to Pause. A box will pop up asking if the user is sure if they want to pause the scan, and you can select Yes. In selecting Yes, for demo purposes, a green box will appear in the upper right corner stating that the user's request to pause the scan schedule was successful. In this case, we'll say No. The user can also resume the scheduled scan which was paused, and this will be re-added and will start with the upcoming schedule. Status of the schedule will change back to schedule. The resume scan functionality is only available against paused or on hold scans. To terminate a scheduled scan, simply click on Terminate, and the scan will never get picked up during the upcoming frequency. The status of the scheduled scan will change to terminated. In this case, for demo purposes, we will not terminate the scan. Having a centralized view of all automated pen testing scans allows users to maintain better oversight and control of their security testing activities. Users can quickly assess the status of each scan, whether scheduled, in progress, paused, failed, terminated, or resume, enabling users to identify gaps, ensure continuous testing, and streamline resource allocation. This visibility reduces the risk of missed vulnerabilities due to overlooked and incomplete scans. Additionally, tracking scan statuses fosters efficient decision-making by highlighting testing priorities and uncovering patterns and trends in vulnerabilities. Users can align testing schedules within their organization's evolving threat landscape, ensuring proactive security measures and a more robust attack surface management strategy. This concludes the attack surface management feature for continuous security testing. Again, we have the APT or automated pen testing scans demo, and the scan status and scan schedule demo. Watch our other demos for individual security testing capabilities integrated into one cohesive platform. Thank you.